So, hey, people, we back, episode 6. And as you can see, I'm not in my usual spot because something came over me because me and A had a conversation last night, which we wanted to record, but then it would have been a little bit, it would have killed the energy of our conversation, right? That we had. So I didn't want to stop the conversation, go back, record this. It would have killed the energy. But as I'm out and about today, it came over me like it still wasn't like I still wanted to get it off my chest, and I wanted to get it off my chest on camera because I believe some people are going through a similar or have went through similar things, a similar predicament. And so what I wanted to highlight and get off my chest, and I kind of got it off last night, me and A did, is that sometimes, man, I know people can take you for granted. I know sometimes I feel like I'm taken for granted because not to like pat my own back, but I feel like I'm a good human being. You know, I'm a decent person. You know, I'm a decent, upright man. Am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Yes. Will I make mistakes in the future? Most likely. But I believe overall I'm a good person. And sometimes good people get taken advantage. I'm like surveying the world, I'm observing the world, and I see these people who are like messed up, selfish. No one really requires much from them. You know what I mean? They get to require the bare minimum. But people who go hard for themselves, for their careers, for
others,
their family, for their family, for friends, for their significant other. A lot of times, those same people, your family, or your significant other, or your relative, or your friend, will like take advantage of you, or take you for granted, or both, right? And like act like don't give you in return what you give them. And then a lot of good people, what they do is they'll sit on it, right? They'll sit on it and think if they keep doing good, that it will be honored, and then people will return that good with good. But sometimes people return your good with greed. They want to just consume, take. And then when it's time for them to give back as much as you've been giving them, they look at you funny, right? And they be like, well, what's your problem? That joint infuriates me. So moving forward, I made a decision. When I'm not given what I've been given, if it's not a reciprocal relationship, I'm going to demand what I want. I'm going to demand my reciprocation. And if the people cannot reciprocate or unwilling to even try, then I'm no longer going to go ahead and indulge in that one-way relationship. Because at the end of the day, it's abuse. And I'm not going to allow myself to be continuously abused. Because at the end of the day, I have to be right here. I got to be right here for me above anybody else. So I suggest to those who listen and those who hear is moving forward, don't let anybody take advantage of you.
right?
Don't let anybody go ahead and take you for granted. You do good and then they think they could do the bare minimum and then it's okay. You know, you can't be the only one giving. You have to make a decision to say, hey, this is the boundary, and you cross that. Not saying to cut them off right away. It's going to be a conversation. Hey, there's going to be a conversation. But after that, if it's continually broken, then you have to, for your own health, mental, physical, spiritual health, you have to let those people go. And I've come to that conclusion. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is anymore. I don't care. It could be relatives. It could be my own children. I will take care of them to the best of my ability and set up their future for the best that I can. And then once they hit 18, 21, or whatever age they leave the nest, then they can go ahead and do what they got to do. But, so I don't care who it is. I'm gonna let them go ahead and move on and do that to somebody else and not me, because my mental space needs to be healthy, because that like we spoke about last night, the mental brings in the physical. So my mental is ill, my physical gonna be ill.
Right. It's inevitable.
So so I have to have both. I have to have my mentals healthy, and I can't have people in my life abusing me and taking me for granted. And that's in any space. That's in any space. Business, personal relationship, intimate relationships. It doesn't matter. In any space, I'm going ahead to have to like make a decision and cut off people when that time needs to be. But of course, I'll give people opportunity to recognize, because I'm not perfect, so I make mistakes. I hope people come to me and say, "Hey, Lou, X, Y, and Z," and then I'll go ahead and do my best to make that change.
Right.
You know, but that's just what was on my chest. You know, I was a little bit more passionate last night because I was planning for today. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and set these boundaries, and I recommend that you guys do it too, because life is short. Life is short. I was just 25 years old. You know what I mean? I was just 23 years old. I remember distinctively being 23 years old with all this time ahead of me. And this was black. This was black a short time ago. So, you know, time is short. So let it be as happy and as healthy for as long as you can make it. Because unless you know you're 50, 60, 70, and you don't want to have lived all those years with the majority of it just servicing ungrateful people, and then you feel like you've just spent your entire life just being just consumed.
And you're left with
nothing. So that's my recommendation to you, is sometimes you have to let people go so that you can be happy or happier. I'm not saying be lonely. I'm not saying be a lone wolf. What I'm saying is just set clear boundaries. And if people cannot accept it, let them go. I guarantee they're going to miss you. By then it's too late, right? But I guarantee you're going to go, man, that was the best person in my life. But by then it's too late. But that's okay, because like we said last night, like attracts like. So even if you have all these negative people, all these consumers coming to you, eventually you're going to have a giver just as giving as you. Enjoy it. So I wanted to say that. Hey, you wanted to add on to that?
Oh, most definitely. Everything that you said was 100%, for lack of better words, spot on. You know, I've realized we teach people how to treat us all day long. And when things aren't nipped in the butt, you're literally teaching that person how to continue to treat you all day long. Like we've spoken about before, we are in some extremely interesting times right now. Yeah. Nice people like nice people, and bad people like nice people too. So right. What is that? The people who aren't aware of their selfish actions. If you're nice, who's not going to want to be around that, even though they're being selfish to you? So a selfish person, unless things are happening and they want to change, they're not going to have this epiphany and go, wait a second, I'm treating A-Bad like crap. So it's going to be a grass on the field play ball. They're going to keep running the same play until you go like Neo in the Matrix, no. Because they would do it. Right. I guarantee you they would do it. No hesitation, without a shadow of a doubt. So why shouldn't we? I was like we were speaking about last night off camera. I look at it like this. Similar to yourself, I remember when I was 23. We were talking about that last night, what I was doing when I was 23. I remember it vividly. Right. I'm definitely 23 anymore. I'm still young. We're both still young. But I think about it now, my mom just turned 70. She is one of the best human beings I've ever encountered in my life. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mom. She just is. The way I think about it is, if I'm stressed out and I pass away tomorrow, who is going to say, you know what? Maria Castro is a great woman, even though Abad isn't here. And I know that was one of his life missions. Let me look after her. Not many. I know for a fact you are one of them. Who else? So it's my obligation to me to make sure I look after me so I can stay healthy. And one day my mom will look up and she'll never have to work again because she has many more years left. That's my obligation. But if I don't do that for me, who else is going to do it?
Right. No one. No one. And that's the concept that I had come up with. That's the same thought process I came up with, is that I have to take care of me. Because you know, as who we are, me and you are very similar, right? Is that we're givers, right? We give. We'll give and give and give and give more and give more until we have nothing left to give, until we recharge. We literally shut down and have to recharge, and then we give some more. But I realized I got to give some of that giving to myself, because if I don't, no one else really will, right? And that's a sad thing, because I had a conversation with somebody, I think 2 people, a few months ago. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. I don't remember how long, but months ago. And it came to, and then the conversation came to me. I was like, yo, you know, nobody calls really and check. I think maybe like one person or 2 people, not even 2. I would say one person was consistently calling to check up on me. Like, hey, Lou, how you doing? One person. When I call several people and check up on them, I know I call several, like, hey, how's it going over there? Hey, how you doing? Yo, it's been a couple weeks. How's things going? I know I call a few people and check up on them in their life. But out of those several people, only one person would be like, hey, how's your day going? Did you eat today? And they dang sure know I didn't eat, because I usually eat after work, right? After my day is over, then I eat most of the time. So they was like, so when I told you, they was like, yo, that's wild. And I'm like, yo, that's wild. And I was like, yo, that's when it hit me. And that's when the other process came in. If I don't take care of myself, who will? You know what I mean? If I'm not well, who's gonna nurse me back to health? So I have to stay well. I can't afford to get sick, and not even financially. I can't afford to get sick, because who's gonna nurse me back to health? Who's gonna tend to me? If there's hardly anybody calling and checking up on me, then who's gonna actually, if shit gets serious, who's gonna really be there? And so, similar to yourself, you have a responsibility. You've given yourself a responsibility, right? Because some people don't care about their parents, about taking care of them. So you've stepped up to that responsibility to tend to your mom as she ages. So you have to be mentally and emotionally and physically healthy. And so I've come to that same understanding from a different perspective, but I've come to that same conclusion. So what we're trying to say, people, is if you got things in your life making you unhealthy, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Because at the end of the day, it won't serve you. Those people won't serve you when it's time. You serve them, but they won't serve you. So do your best to ensure that you're healthy.
And do
mentally,
it soon.
emotionally. Yes, do it soon. Do it soon. If you got a bad habit, put that bad habit down. Get all of the help you possibly need, or that you need to put that habit down.
Right.
If that habit hurts you.
Right.
If there's people in your life causing you distress, let them go. Because like A said, they will let you go. And I guarantee you, a lot of you felt that already, experienced that somebody felt like they could let you go. Hey, you don't serve me no more. You got to go. And then you're like, what? What's going on? So people will let you go. So you have to let them go. The ones who are not helping you and they're hurting you, you got to let them go. And that was on my heart. And I wanted to share this because sometimes people don't realize what they do, right? You got to like show them. But sometimes you show some people and they don't care. They will be defensive until they die about it.
And this
Some
may
people
sound,
be go ahead, eh?
I was going to say, and this may sound extreme, but so something happens to you and they're like, oh my God, wow, you were such a good person. Are you kidding me? What? My question is, what happened when I was here? Where was that energy when I was here? And
Right.
from any type of animosity, just sincerely, where was that energy when I was here now? I'm a good person now.
Right. Because some people, when one is alive, right, and you might be trying to say something, well, somebody, instead of saying sorry, you know what they say? I'm sorry you felt that way. I didn't mean for you to feel that way. No, yo, just say sorry. Just be apologetic and change. Why you gotta try and maneuver, and block and pivot and you know and parry the freaking responsibilities? Just be like, yo, I messed up. I'm sorry. But a lot of people don't know how to apologize.
So they
They
need to
just
learn
say,
how
oh,
to distance.
right. So sometimes you got to teach people how to treat you. You have to teach them because the majority of the people out here, they don't have that education. So you have to teach them, especially in this modern day. I remember, let's go back 30 years. Majority of people used to say good morning as they walk past you. It was a mutual thing. Good morning. Good morning. Now you might hear one person here or there. So that lets me know I got to be wary of who is around me. Got to pay attention. Because like A said, then when we pass, oh, the waterworks. where was the love and attention when I was here? I don't mean attention as, oh, I need attention like a child, or I mean attention as in you're showing some form of interest in who I am as a person, how
We're
I'm doing my well-being.
we're alive right now.
Yeah, because I know for a fact people in my life, I focus on their well-being. I pour a lot into people. I do. That's just me. I subconsciously, consciously, I pour into people. I told my daughter this, right? My daughter's still pretty young. And I told my daughter this. I said, listen, mama, you have to be an asset to people. Don't be a detriment. And that's not just for her as a child, that's for everybody. We all should be assets to those around us. We all shouldn't be a detriment or a liability. We need to be assets to each other. And if we all work from that perspective, man, this world would be better. We would have better communities, better families. But people don't want to be assets to one another. People just want to be a liability. And what is a liability? A liability is something that causes risk of losing things. So whether you risk me losing money or losing black hairs, right? Or losing hairs, period, right? Or getting ill health, because what overstress causes ill health. So some people are contributing these things, then they're no longer an asset. They're now a liability to you. So let us all be assets. And if people aren't assets, you have to let them go. Just like if you had a financial liability, you would let it go. if you had a significant financial liability, like a car that costs you too much to sustain, what would you do? You would get rid of it. You would sell it or something like that. A car that constantly you got to keep sending to the shop to replace parts. 500 here, 2,000 here, 600 there. You'll be like, yo, this costs a liability. So you get rid of it. And then get a car that's no longer a liability. And so that's how we need to be looking at life. Keep liabilities as far as possible, and we all become a benefit to each other. And that's all I gotta say on that. I hope to read some comments. I would love to hear people comment on this and hear your perspective, hear your situations and how you've overcome. And you know, I told A, moving forward, I'm gonna tell people about it. I'm gonna tell people about themselves who's not reciprocating what I'm giving. You gotta learn. And if you don't want to learn, then move on. And so please comment.
Yep.
You like it, subscribe, hit that bell, and share. And we'll be back episode 7 pretty soon, because we're gonna keep this rolling, and you guys are gonna keep seeing us, and hopefully you guys enjoy our product, which is our life,
right?
And we're keeping it real. That's all we're gonna do, is keep it real.
100%.
So until next time, see y'all later.